How's it going, guys? Cracked Rack here, and today I must announce that I was raided by the feds. This was yesterday night, or maybe the day before, I don't know, I sleep so much now, the days really just blend together. Anyway, why was I raided? Well, I made a handful of rap songs that scared the ever-living shit out of my family members, and as a result, one of them, not sure exactly which, reported me to the FBI because they took my song lyrics completely seriously. Essentially, I have 3 siblings, and they're all very smart people actually. They could even be psychologists if they wanted to be. However, there's one major issue between us. I am the youngest of them by a significant chunk. I am essentially the product of drunk banging like 21 years ago, and then my doctor suggested I should be aborted because I was going to be retarded. Now, I did end up being cracked rack, so there probably is some legitimacy to that claim. Anyways, like I said, there is a huge generational gap between me and my siblings. Like, to give you an idea, my siblings were all old enough to drink in like 2002. I just became old enough to drink a year ago. So you see the issue here. They are terrified of the internet. They don't understand it. They don't understand edgy post-ironic humor. They don't understand internet optics. None of it makes any sense to them, and frankly, I understand that completely. In fact, I literally fully expect one of them to attempt to sue me because I mentioned I have a sibling in a YouTube video. That is how completely, unbelievably out of touch they are with this stuff. Anyway, this all started because a week ago I managed to get funding for a hip-hop album. Not much, about $2,000 and because I was proud of the achievement, as I had been working on my craft for over a decade now, I reached out to my siblings and told them the good news. Well, because they were so out of touch with what I create and do and my purpose in life, this did not go over well with them. They pretended at first that it was cool, but it didn't end up being cool. One of them, who I will not specify, reached out to my parents, frantically speaking out about what I was creating, particularly the Chris Chan song, which I guess was the most disturbing to them. Obviously, my parents didn't give a shit because I'm a grown adult man over the age of 21, so it's nobody's business what I create or do with my personal life. I guess my siblings particularly just aren't used to adult me. They still think of me as like a dumb 13-year-old boy who doesn't know what he's doing, I guess, which again, I can't blame them. They're all like 40-something, so me being like 10 was very recent to them. They also don't think what I do for work and in my life is legitimate. They believe that you're basically only an adult man if you work a completely normal, societally accepted 9-to-5 and have kids when you're like 23. That's just the way it is, and fine. That's the way they think, that's the way they think. Anyway, there was one song in particular that triggered a police response. Here is a preview of it.
What if I told you that I never had sex? What if I told you that I never spent a check and I'm living in my basement rent-free ho when I jerk off all day in a Speedo?
So yeah, there's essentially a part in the song where I make a joke about a mass shooting, which is very standard internet behavior nowadays. However, my siblings thought I was literally seconds away from committing a horrible massacre, so one of them reported it to the FBI. So cut to yesterday, I'm just minding my own business, playing video games on my computer. I decide to go to bed, and 9 hours later, because keep in mind I am dosed to the max on Ambien, I awake to a knock on my door. One of my family members, I won't specify, states, there's a bunch of police officers downstairs. They want to have a word with you. I was like, ah, shit. So I put on my pants and go downstairs, and I see these 3 identical-looking men who are staring at me with the intensity of 1,000 suns. They literally all look like Agent 47 and are pants-shittingly terrifying. One of them states, you must be Matthew or Cracked Rack. I'm, insert name here, not gonna say it obviously, and I'm with the FBI. My first reaction was like, oh fuck. I don't know what I did, but it must have been real fucked up for this to be the result. So I decided, since I've literally done nothing wrong except for utilize free speech, that I'd just talk to them, which you're not supposed to talk to feds, it's not advised, but I've done so little law breaking in my life that I figured it was of no consequence to just be honest with them. So they take me to this huge black SUV. They drive me a little bit out from my house, and just an FYI, I live in a terrifying black field of nothingness outside of my house, and it was pitch black outside, so this was pretty creepy. I was sitting in the front seat of this pitch black SUV, and I could weirdly tell there was like an agent behind me. I don't know why I knew this, but I could really easily sense there was somebody behind me doing God knows what. So the main FBI agent, who looks like Agent 47's dad, takes out a tape recorder and asks me some basic questions. The first question I am asked is, so, who is this Chris Chan? I was just asked by a fucking FBI agent who has probably killed people before about fucking stupid Chris Chan. So I explained he was an autistic man-child that I was severely obsessed with and made rap songs about to utilize my rap talents in a way that would get recognized since Chris Chan was popular. The agent really didn't understand why Chris Chan was popular. It made no sense to him whatsoever. It was like he was in FBI training all over again. Then he explained the reason why they came out. Someone, I think I know who, reported my song Incel because I made references to a mass shooting in it. So I explained that it was a joke and that I have no intention of committing a mass shooting. Why would I put all this effort into creating art and work and dedicating my life to getting better to go commit a shooting? That makes no sense. This was the most terrifying part of the ordeal. He turned off the overhead light in the car so it was pitch black, waited like a minute in silence, then asked me in an extremely stern tone of voice,
"You think mass shootings are funny?"
Then he looked at me with the most scary, psychologically pants-shitting stare I've ever been given in my entire life. I took a photo to recapture it. It was basically a very subtle version of this. And it was coming from a man who, like I said, looked like Agent fucking 47. He looked like this. So anyway, we talked for a good 20 minutes, and for some reason the conversation goes from a professional interview to they started asking me, like, questions as if they were regular viewers of my channel. Like, they asked me for my detailed thoughts on mass shootings, which I thought was just to, get, like, a baseline of me and, like, do some analysis. But no, they were, like, discussing my opinions with each other in a weirdly, like, friendly, fun manner, like, leaving me out of it completely. And from what they knew about my channel, you would think they were like super fans or something. It was fucking bizarre. They knew about videos I created like 4 years ago, and they knew specific timestamps and quotes from videos that I don't even remember making. Anyway, after all was said and done, I got put in the back of a patrol car with a cage in it, and the officer in the car was listening to Ben Shapiro. And he was like, "Man, Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson are so awesome. I wish I was nearly as smart as they are." And I was just like, yeah, that's an opinion I hold. It was not an opinion I hold. I know way too much about Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson to respect them like he was. Anyways, they warned my family that I could be an insane person, and then they shook my hand and left, and I think we're all good now? I didn't break any laws, so I have no expectation of any legal trouble. My siblings don't really understand that any legal action or action against me they try to take is just going to make me more popular. Even if they somehow wiped out my entire channel and got me arrested for God knows what, people would just try to make me an even bigger name and would archive everything I do. That's just basic psychology 101. And if they're watching this, well, I don't hate any of you. I know you probably hate me for a variety of reasons, but I don't really give a shit. Maybe I'll talk to you guys again in 10 years, but if you behave like this and are this disrespectful to my adult life, then I have no intention of reconnecting. I also just don't think my siblings really understand that I heavily value what they say about me. Like, I guess most people don't really give a shit. I care a lot, probably because they're so much older, and it's just like, it feels like a cancerous poison inside of me every time they judge me for who I am, because I'm never changing. I'm never changing who I am. I am Cracked Rack until the day I die, which could be tomorrow, it could be in 95 years. God knows. This is who I am, and if they just accepted me, well, the world would be a better place. Oh yeah, there is one major benefit of what happened to me, and there's the only thing I can even think of, and that is that it somehow attracted the attention of some of my favorite rappers of all time. So you got, on my Instagram story here, we have Ill Bill, who is Necro's brother, I think, so that's awesome. I'm a giant fan of both of them. Vinny Paz, who is one of my biggest inspirations for rap music, and a handful of others, so that's just pretty cool. Also, a bunch of other stuff with the feds did happen that day, but I'm not going to go into dramatic detail because I don't think that's a great idea. And like I said, I'm not going to say specifics about the drama between me and my siblings because that was very detailed and deep and serious, and that's completely unrelated. That it was merged with this situation. This is just a side result of that situation, and I'm not trying to like bully my siblings or anything like that. I just think they really need a reality check because they are so controlling over what I want to do and so like condescending. I am just so fucking exhausted of having to bend to their will every 5 seconds that they demand I do something with my life, even though it's so unreasonable and unrealistic that I could just die. Like, I'm so fucking sick of it, so this is just the last resort I have, apparently, that I think this is fully well deserved. So anyway, yeah, that's all for today. See ya.